Hello, everybody, and welcome to this closer look at SBK 22, the exciting new video game that brings to life all the thrills of the FIM Superbike World Championship. Now, it's been more than 10 years since the last installment, but believe me when I say it has been worth the wait. Over the next 30 minutes or so, we'll hear from the game's creators, Milestone in Italy. We'll chat to some of the developers before closing our visors and hitting the track to explore what makes SBK 22 the most realistic superbike game to have ever been released. My name is Michael Hill, and I've worked within the superbike paddock for more than a decade. I'm also a massive fan of racing games, and after seeing some of the excerpts from SBK 22, I'm as excited as all of you watching to play it. So without any further ado, let's head out of the pit lane and welcome Andrea Basilio, Head of Game Design and Associate Creative Director, and Luca Palizza, Gameplay Designer. Hello, guys.
Hello, Michael.
Hello, Michael.
Now, it's been a decade since the launch of SBK Generation, but finally, for the fans around the world, SBK 22 is here. But what took you guys so long? Joking aside, I've been working in the superbike paddock for more than a decade, as I said, and I know firsthand that this is not the first superbike game that Milestone has released. In fact, ladies and gents, there's been several releases over the years, but for me, this is the most exciting to date. Andrea, tell us about it.
Yes, Michael, it's true. For Milestone, the SBK Championship is very important for the Milestone history, the Milestone heritage. We made the first SBK game in early 2000. SBK 2001 was a huge success. Then we started developing the game for years. So we hit all the generations of consoles in the years. SBK 07 on PS3 and Xbox, on the original one. SBK X, for instance, on PS3 and Xbox 360. So it was a long journey. For us, SBK is part of our core, in our heart, it is part of our core experience in making games, basically. So we are really, really happy to come back in this paddock. Obviously, SBK 2022 is the new Superbike game, so is the spirit. There is the spirit of the original Superbike games, but with our new technologies. So we have cutting-edge technologies of bike details, weather system, and all the physical simulations that we developed for years, because we made, as probably all the people know, a lot of racing games. So we develop a lot of technologies that we put in this new Superbike game. So for us, it's very important also to understand how is working a superbike bike. The superbikes are based on road bikes, but obviously are cutting-edge racing technologies. So the only people that can explain us how to recreate the experience, because we want to give to the players the real experience of the SBK, are the riders that actually compete in Superbike. So we spoke with Bautista, we spoke with Rea, we spoke with Toprak, in order to exactly understand how these amazing bikes work in racing. So we try to recreate the real experience with all our knowledge and our technology. So again, for us, it's a real pleasure to be back on the SBK paddock. And we hope that this SBK 22 is going to be the best SBK ever.
Now, guys, we've seen the trailer and visually the game looks amazing, but I know that you have been working hard behind the scenes to ensure that the game mirrors the real-life Superbike series. Luca, what can we expect from SBK 22?
In Superbike 22, you'll find all the official content that you usually see during a World Superbike weekend. You'll find all the tracks, all the riders, and all the teams. At the beginning, you have to create your personal rider, and you can customize it following your style and using our editors. We have different game modes, starting from the career, when you can try to become the new World Superbike champion using your custom rider, or you can race directly against other people around the world in the multiplayer mode. Or you can use the quick modes. For example, you can create a quick race and you can customize it, choosing the track, choosing your personal rider like Toprak, Alv, or Jonathan, and you can customize the weather, you can choose the race length, the AI difficulty. You can choose if you want to do only the race or if you want to live the entire weekend experience. So starting from the free practices, then Super Pole, Race 1, Super Pole race, and at the end, Race 2. You can create a custom championship where you can choose all the tracks where you want to race during the championship, or if you want to improve your ability on a specific track, we have the time attack mode, where making laps you can try to beat your personal time, or challenging the best time uploaded on the leaderboard by other users all around the world.
Now, one of the greatest features and coolest features for me, and I know it's going to be the same for many watching, is the immersive career mode, where you, as a rider, can work your way through the ranks and compete with some of the greatest superbike racers on the 2022 grid. Tell us about it.
Well, the career mode is the real heart of the game. So for us, it's important to recreate the real experience also in starting your journey as a new rider and climb the leaderboard to become the champion and beat all the real riders like Toprak, like Jonathan Ria or Alvaro Bautista. So in the career mode, the player can do exactly this. So start from the beginning of the career and then go through all the seasons and became a champion. In the same time, the players can also create a new team. Independent teams are really important in the superbike world. So we also see in the past a lot of independent team wins the championship. So for the SBK world, independent teams are really crucial. For us, it's also important. The players can create his own independent team, create deliveries, choose the sponsors, and go with all the other teams, manage the teams, and maybe win the championship with his own team. So for us, it's very important to recreate this. It's also possible to develop new parts during the seasons in order to improve the performance of the bike. We know that in Superbike some parts are locked, so you can't develop that, but you can develop other parts. We saw this year situations in which like BMW develop a new swing arm and improve the performance. So also the player can do this in the game, improve the performance, developing new part for his bike. And last but not least, for us it's important to recreate the real superbike experience. It's crucial for Milestone recreating the real sport. So in the career, but also in the other part of the game, you can play all the free practice like the real world, the Super Pole race, Race 1, Race 2. So all the sessions, the real sessions are recreated in the game as in reality. During the sessions, it's possible to make a development test in order to gain data to use for research and build new parts for the bike and the team, basically. This is the career mode of SBK 2022.
As we've already seen, guys, SBK 22 provides a real superbike racing experience. But how did you guys ensure that every aspect of being a superbike racer was included in the game?
You know, our first question when we started the development of this game was what are the differences between a normal street bike and a world superbike? Because we know that a superbike is a normal street bike modified for racing, but what are the differences? So, as Andrea said, we have talked with who knows better than anyone else what are these differences. We have talked directly with a real superbike rider. So at the beginning, we have focused our work on the tires, because Pirelli has created some compound to do something specific, like the Pirelli SCX for the Super Pole racing or the SCQ for the Super Pole session. We have worked a lot to reproduce the same feelings and the tire consumption. It's very important before the race to choose the correct tire compound because during the race you have to manage the tire and the fuel consumption. So you have to adjust your riding style and you have to manage this aspect. To do this while you're racing, you can also change 4 electronic settings. For example, if you see that your bike is sleeping too much, you can increase the TCS level. Or if you see that you are consuming too much fuel, you can decrease the engine power mapping. In a Superbike, we have 5 manufacturers, and each bike is really different. So we have worked a lot to reproduce all the strengths and weakness points for each bike, and we have worked to reproduce the same feelings. So if you'll ride a Ducati, you'll feel more power and more acceleration. And if you ride a Yamaha, you'll feel more speed corner and agility. So we have worked a lot to create important differences between each bike, and we have worked a lot on the details to create as much as possible a faithful physics.
Now, guys, one of the things that always fascinates me with racing games is AI, the way that the console-controlled riders in racing simulations react on the track, and also how difficult they are as opponents. Now, SBK 22 and Milestone are at the forefront of technology when it comes to AI. This is right, correct?
Yes, exactly. Milestone have developed neural AI that you use in few games. Our AI basically is not scripted, but the intelligence learning the track and how ride the bikes. So at the beginning of the game, when we started developing the game, it can't ride the bike. It is quite funny actually. But lap after lap, like a real rider, the AI learning how to do that. And slowly we actually start to teach the artificial intelligence to recreate the real rider behaviors. So our artificial intelligence basically recreate the different characteristic of the real riders. So the top arc one is trying to recreate the top arc behavior on the track. So this is very important for us, recreating the real experience as the reality. On the other hand, we have a really strong artificial intelligence on the higher level of difficulty, but is really scalable. So if you don't want to play at maximum level of difficulty, you can scale the difficulty to low, and the game still very enjoyable, but more easy for not super hardcore players, for instance.
Now, as you guys have already told us, there is a multiplayer option within SBK 22. How does it work? How many people can you play against?
Exactly. We have the multiplayer mode where you can join exciting lobby and or creating your personal lobby, private or public, and customize it. You can invite your friend or play with other people. You can customize the lobby by the lobby option, choosing the track, choosing if you want to race with a real rider or using your custom rider. And you can choose the weather, the race length, if you want the qualifying session and how much time do you want to dedicate to this session. And for example, if you want to ride against AI and what is the difficulty of the AI, or if you want the collision during the race. So it's a really customizable experience to ride against your friends and people all around the world.
Now, guys, we've talked a lot about the gameplay and also the realism within SBK 22. Could you outline for us the role of the editors in bringing this game to life?
Yes, well, the customization is a crucial part in the game. For us, it's important to bring to the players the real experience. So in the game, the players can personalize their avatar, choosing different equipment. For instance, we have a lot of real helmets in the game, real gloves, real boots. So the players can choose what they prefer, and then they can personalize this with the personal liveries, like it is possible to make their own liveries on the helmet, and also downloaded from user-generated content in the game. So if other players made amazing liveries, you can download it and use it in the game. The personalization options are two main reasons. We like the idea that online the players can personalize their avatar and show off a bit, so they are recognizable online, and the other friend, they understand which one is basically. And in single player experience, we like the idea that the player can live like a real rider and choose all the equipment and all the personal colors and stuff. Offline is also possible to personalize the team. When in career the players can found an independent team, they also can personalize the liveries and choosing the sponsors, the colors, and so on. So for us, the personalization options are really important, and we want to give that in the game for our players.
Guys, the game sounds great and it looks amazing. Andrea and Luca, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
A reminder that the release date for the game is September the 15th. And for more information about that, and of course, importantly, to pre-order SBK 22, head across to the website, sbkvideogame.com. Once again, a big thanks to Andrea and to Luca for joining me today, and to all of you for watching. Thank you very much.